So a while ago, I was just watching a bunch of random YouTube videos, and I came across this interesting one. It was talking about Japanese culture and this concept called Hikikomori. So there's no way that I can explain this properly as a Canadian guy. So I'm going to ask Yuka, what is Hikikomori?
But what was the topic in the news?
It's kind of like, I think the YouTube video itself is pretty much that. It's like what is Hikikomori?
Oh, they explained to you?
Yeah, they explained in the video what it was, and then they try to explain why maybe it's a Japan exclusive kind of problem. Like we don't have that here in North America, or it's not widely reported. I agree with it in the sense that I don't know anybody personally that's affected by it, but you should probably explain what it is before I talk about it.
Okay, I just got lazy. So hikikomori, I'm not sure that what one's on the YouTube that Jeff watch, but I think it's mean like you don't want to go outside. You stay in home. You want to stay home. You don't want to interact with other people. You have like no friend. Some people has job, and some people like even like quit the job, or so it's just like how to say in English, like the people who it's kind of lonely, but it's more like they're avoiding to interact with people. It's like let's say you don't like your appearance, right? And you have such a like negative feeling for your appearance, and because of that you cannot be active to interact with people. Also, like, well, there could be there's many reasons, but this is one example. And you're like kind of like embarrassing to go in front of people, and you try to stay home. And the more and more you try to stay home, it makes scare them to going out. And if they have bad experience, like other people judging them, then it's like makes them more scared to go outside, right? And they stay home, and they start ordering food maybe. So delivery food, they don't want to go outside. They don't go outside. They don't have a friend. So pretty much like they don't go outside. Say that they don't want to. And obviously it's caused trouble, right? Because they lose job, or they're not healthy. They become mentally sick. Yeah. Is that similar?
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what I saw in the video. It's just, hikikomori is just a word to describe people who stay alone by themselves at home, and they just don't want to go out. They don't have any human connection. They might go out to get groceries probably, get delivery food, but they don't have any social interaction with people. And how the video showed it was they're not depressed or anything. They just like being at home by themselves, and they don't want to talk to anybody.
Oh, that reminds me, my friend, my roommate actually saying, because he knows a little bit Japanese, right? And he's the one, like you, I think. It's like to stay in home, like playing game all the time.
Yeah. So
he actually, it's a certain level, and then people, even like Japanese, use as in like a joke, right? I'm hikikomori. So I don't like going out. I like staying home and playing game or whatever. So he often say like, oh, today I'm hikikomori and stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But that's how he spend. He wants to spend. I think that's more like, if it's on the news, it's more serious. It's actually like causing mental issue.
Probably in some way. So in the video, the extreme case was someone didn't leave their apartment for like either a year or like over like a year, something like that, or even longer, like 5 years. They haven't left their house, kind of thing. And then, like again, I don't know if it's a mental issue or something, or they just social awkward, but whatever the reason, they just don't want to leave their home. And,
And the worst case, this is different topic, but I was going to talk about the kodokushi. Kodoku is like lonely, and shi is death, right? So people die alone. This one, I think it's more related like old people, so they don't have a family, or their kids is like different town, they don't take care of them, then like husband or wife die, and then they're alone at home, and no friend around, no one really care, no interaction with others. So it's not they want to be, they choose to be alone, but that's happening, like the situation is. And because they physically have like problem, they cannot go to buy grocery often, they cannot cook themselves, and one day they die alone, and then no one finds it. Mm-hmm. So after like a few months, like the people, neighbors report like the smell, but and then find it body. That's called kodokushi. But I think like I remember one time you were asking was, so even the young girl or something, because she was a hikikomori, and she doesn't like go out, and then, so what happening in the worst case is like, so even people like young and healthy, once people start staying at home, right, they get lazy because we go out, we dress up ourselves, we put on makeup, we buy new clothes, and then if we invite the people in the house, and then we clean the house, right? But let's say no one come, and you get so lazy. So the people get more lazy third year, they don't clean the house, and so the bad cycle happen, and they don't cook, they don't eat the healthy food. It's just like they don't care about their health, they don't care about themselves. And the worst case is just that they died. I don't know, was it? What?
Yeah, part of that video that I saw was an old person who did die.
Old person?
Yeah, this is an old person.
Oh, okay.
And then they died, and like people didn't realize until they smelled something was weird. And then I guess that was related to hikikomori, because
I think that's more like kodokushi. It's like the problem for the Japanese culture, how we have, you know, like a population mountain, how to take a chart?
Yes.
It's like, it's upside down, like the triangle shape.
Yeah, there's more old people than there's young people, right?
Yeah. So we don't have enough support, or, and maybe like a culture-wise, like we don't really live together anymore. And so the difference, I think, the hikikomori is, there could be many reasons, but hikikomori people tend to choose being alone, right? Whereas the kodokushi is like, maybe they don't want it. They don't choose themselves to being alone, but that's like happening. So
kodokushi is more just elderly people who are alone, maybe not by choice, but they're alone, and there's a possibility that they might die alone, kind of thing.
And obviously, like hikikomori is not equal to die. It's just staying home or wherever, right?
Yeah.
So we can talk more about like, is it only Japanese? You think? It's like how make you, why you had interest, or why you watched that?
I watch a lot of random YouTube videos. That's why. But I've never heard of this concept in Canada anyways. I've heard of kind of elderly isolation, for sure. Like elderly people, no one wants to visit them. And
it's like worldwide, right?
Yeah, that's probably a worldwide issue. Because, you know, as people get older, they lose their friends and they get lonely. Maybe their families don't care about them as much. So that's a concept that I'm aware of. But hikikomori, not so much in Canada, where not so much in the sense that I haven't heard about it in Canada, where there's people who just stay in their home for years at a time and then never leave. I don't know. So I don't know if it's a cultural thing where it's more accepting, or there's more entertainment or things that people can just want to be at home and that's fine.
Well, because I have such a negative idea about Japanese culture, personally, and I believe like Japanese people really judgmental. So, actually, I feel more scared. I'm more scared living in Japan. Like when I go out, I feel like I have to put makeup on it, and then I care about my fashion, my weight, all the like appearance stuff or behavior, because people always judge. I feel like I'm always judging me. Think about if everyone judging you outside, and if you don't like yourself much, that's make you difficult difficult outside, right? So that's, I think, one reason that's different, because I don't think in this country people judge others compared to maybe Asian culture. Thank you for listening to this clip of the podcast. To hear the full version or extra podcast, please consider joining Patreon too. Yeah, that's all for today. Bye bye.